Today, we're going to take a moment to remember the life and career of the amazing French actress Nadia Farès. She was such a powerful and versatile talent, and her sudden passing has really left a hole in the world of cinema.
The news that came out this past week absolutely shocked the film world. And her family's own words, which we'll get to, really capture the true weight of this loss. So to really understand what happened, let's start with the circumstances of her passing, which were so sudden and so tragic. So the key fact here is that the Morocco-born star passed away in Paris on Friday, April 17th. She was just 57 years old, leaving behind an incredible body of work and, of course, a family in deep mourning.
And this timeline, it really shows you just how quickly and tragically this all unfolded. It all started on April 11th, when she was found unconscious in the swimming pool of a private club in Paris. For the next week, she was in a coma until April 17th, when her daughters had to deliver that heartbreaking news.
You know, with things like this, there's often a lot of speculation. But her family moved quickly to set the record straight. They confirmed through the French press agency that Nadia Farès had suffered a cardiac arrest.
Okay, so to really appreciate what a force she was, you have to go back. You have to look at the role that just blasted her onto the international stage.
Yeah, the year 2000, that was everything for her. It was the year this dark, really atmospheric thriller made her a household name, and not just in France, but all over the world. And make no mistake, The Crimson Rivers was a huge cinematic event. I mean, it's directed by Mathieu Kassovitz, the guy behind the classic La Haine. And get this, she's starring alongside two giants of French film, Jean Reno and Vincent Cassel. Her portrayal of Fanny Ferreira was just magnetic, and it totally cemented her status as a serious talent. But here's the thing about Nadia Farès. She was never going to be boxed into just one country or one type of movie. She built this incredible career, jumping effortlessly between French cinema, big Hollywood thrillers, you name it. I mean, look at this. Her range was just insane. One minute she's in an acclaimed French film like The Nest, and boom, the next she's right there on screen with action icons Jason Statham and Jet Li in the Hollywood movie War. She was just as natural in a gritty French thriller as she was in an Australian horror flick like Storm Warning. And it wasn't just about the big screen either. She was actually a pioneer, right at the start of the streaming boom, taking a lead role in a show that completely changed the game in France. So yeah, from 2016 to 2018, she goes toe-to-toe with the legend himself, Gerard Depardieu, in Marseille. And you gotta understand, this was a massive deal at the time. This was Netflix's first ever French original series. Playing Vanessa de Brantes just proves she was still this powerful, relevant force, connecting with a whole new global audience. But you know, the roles she played, they're only part of the story. Let's talk about the woman behind the camera. A woman of just incredible strength, who faced some major personal battles and who was, above all else, a mother. Yeah, she had this quiet strength that a lot of people just didn't see. She was always really open and candid in interviews about some pretty serious health challenges she'd faced and amazingly overcame. I mean, listen to this. In 2007, she had brain surgery for an aneurysm that she herself said was far from small. And on top of that, 3 separate heart operations over a 4-year period. When you know that, it just makes her dynamic performances and her drive all the more extraordinary. And this is just heartbreaking. It's a quote from her daughter, Celia's tribute on Instagram. It gives you this little window into their very last conversation, and it just speaks volumes about her courage, right up to the very end. And this was the statement the family released to the press. It hits you, right? It perfectly captures the two sides of their loss, the public loss of a celebrated artist and the deeply personal, irreplaceable loss of their mom. You know, what makes this all feel so much more tragic is that she was right on the edge of a brand new chapter. She wasn't just acting anymore. She was creating, getting ready to step into a totally new role. Yeah, after all those years performing for others, she was ready to be the one calling the shots. She had poured all this creative energy into writing and was all set to direct her very first feature film. And look, this wasn't just some idea she was kicking around. This was a real, full-on project, an action comedy that she'd written herself,
and she was teaming up with a huge studio, TF1, to get it made. You could just hear the excitement in her voice when she talked about it. And this number says it all. September 2026, that's when filming was supposed to start. Just a few months away. So close. So in the end, we remember Nadia Farès for all of these intense, incredible performances she left behind. But her legacy is now, well, it's forever tied to that question of what if, the promise of what was right around the corner. Yeah, her story is it's a powerful and poignant reminder about talent, about ambition, and about a future that was cut short. And it really makes you think, doesn't it? How do we remember an artist? Is it just for the work they finished, or also for the work we'll now never get to see?